భాసించిన విద్యాశ్రమమా, వెలుగులతో భాసించిన విద్యాశ్రమమా, విలువలతో శోభించే దివ్యాశ్రమమా. జయ హో జయ జయ హో మా ఆర్ట్స్ కళాశాల, జయ హో జయ జయ హో మా ఆర్ట్స్ కళాశాల. భావి పౌరులకు నీవే భవ్య కార్యశాల, జయ హో జయ జయ హో మా ఆర్ట్స్ కళాశాల. భావి పౌరులకు నీవే భవ్య కార్యశాల. భాషా విజ్ఞాన శాఖలందు ప్రతిభతో, సమాజ వాణిజ్య శాఖలందు పటిమతో. భాషా విజ్ఞాన శాఖలందు ప్రతిభతో, సమాజ వాణిజ్య శాఖలందు పటిమతో. క్రీడా సాంస్కృతిక సేవలందు ఖ్యాతితో, క్రీడా సాంస్కృతిక సేవలందు ఖ్యాతితో. ప్రథమ శ్రేణిలో నిలచే ప్రగతి సౌధమా, జయ హో జయ జయ హో మా ఆర్ట్స్ కళాశాల, జయ హో జయ జయ హో మా ఆర్ట్స్ కళాశాల. భావి పౌరులకు నీవే భవ్య కార్యశాల, జయ హో జయ జయ హో మా ఆర్ట్స్ కళాశాల. భావి పౌరులకు నీవే భవ్య కార్యశాల. పాలనా దక్షులకు, రాజనీతిజ్ఞులకు, న్యాయ కోవిదులకు నువ్వు చదువుల నెలవు. పాలనా దక్షులకు, రాజనీతిజ్ఞులకు, న్యాయ కోవిదులకు నువ్వు చదువుల నెలవు. సమత మమత పండించే సస్యక్షేత్రమా, సమత మమత పండించే సస్యక్షేత్రమా. సమాజ దేవాలయమా, పుణ్యక్షేత్రమా. జయ హో జయ జయ హో మా ఆర్ట్స్ కళాశాల, జయ హో జయ జయ హో మా ఆర్ట్స్ కళాశాల. భావి పౌరులకు నీవే భవ్య కార్యశాల, జయ హో జయ జయ హో మా ఆర్ట్స్ కళాశాల. భావి పౌరులకు నీవే భవ్య కార్యశాల. గౌతమి ఒడిలో విరిసిన విద్యావనమా, గౌతమి ఒడిలో విరిసిన విద్యావనమా. రాజమహేంద్రవరానికి తలమానికమా, జయ హో జయ జయ హో మా ఆర్ట్స్ కళాశాల, జయ హో జయ జయ హో మా ఆర్ట్స్ కళాశాల. జయ హో జయ జయ హో మా ఆర్ట్స్ కళాశాల.
Good morning to all participants, and I welcome back each and everyone to today's 5th day FDP program on revised accreditation framework by NAC. So a small recaption of what has happened yesterday. On criteria 4, we had a presentation from Dr. BP Naksa Reddy Garu. The main highlights of the fourth criteria are carrying key indicators 4 with major concentration on the physical infrastructure facilities, library and learning resources, IT infrastructure and maintenance of campus, These are the 4 categories. We had good discussion on the smart class, LMS, and integrated learning, lecture management, lecture capturing systems, and so on. So now today, I'm just taking you towards the criteria 5, which is going to be presented by Dr. G. Appal Narasimham, Assistant Professor in Commerce, Department of Commerce and Management in our college, who has been handling the criteria 5 throughout the upload of SSR in our portal. So now I hand over the session to Appal Narasimham Garu to proceed.
A very good morning to respected Principal Dr. R. David Kumar Garu, and good morning to the IQC Coordinator Dr. A. Annapurna Madam, and Assistant Coordinator M.R. Gautam Garu, and the other criteria coordinators who have already presented so far on various criteria up to 4. Today, I will be presenting on criteria number 5. So, this considers student support and progression. The criteria 5 is upgraded according to the NAAC revised accreditation framework as on February 2020. If you look at the NAAC criteria 5, the overall distributional metrics and key indicators across criteria, as you already know, there are 7 criteria. Key indicators according to the university, autonomous and affiliated colleges are 34, 34 and 31, 32. Qualitative metrics are 36 in case of universities, 35 in case of autonomous colleges, and for undergraduate affiliated colleges 35, for PG colleges 36. Quantitative metrics, you have 79 for universities, autonomous colleges 72, affiliated UG colleges 58 and PG colleges 60. Total metrics as displayed, it is 115 for universities, autonomous colleges 107 and UG affiliated colleges 93 and PG affiliated colleges 96. If you look at the distribution of weightage across key indicators of only unit criteria 5, criteria 5 consists of student support, student progression, student participation and activities, alumni engagement. Accordingly, universities carry 100 points, autonomous colleges carry 100 points, affiliated UG colleges 140 points, and PG affiliated colleges 130 points. I will take you to the objectives of the criteria 5. To look at the objectives of criteria 5 quality policy, the first one is to implement the government policy of extending scholarships to the students, to help the economically poor and meritorious students in completing their education through a fund which may be established by the institution or agency or trust, to provide guidance for various competitive examinations, to counsel the students on various career progression, to impart training on soft skills and life skills development, to assess the underperforming students and provide them remedial coaching. Quality policy, they are to improve the language skills through language lab, to organize bridge courses for the students to make them learn advanced concepts, and to conduct personal counseling and suggest measures to overcome the stress, to address the grievances and gender sensitization issues of the students, to provide placement opportunities by conducting campus recruitment drives. It includes off-campus as well as on-campus, to encourage students to take up higher education and research after their graduation, and to coach the students on NET, SLET, GRE, GMAT, GATE, CAT, TOEFL examinations, to encourage students to participate in sports and cultural events, national as well as international, to encourage students to participate in community and national development programs, to allow the student council to represent academic and administrative committees, to form an alumni of outgoing students and take their help in the development of the institution. So these are the objectives of the criteria policy 5. Coming to student support. Now, when you look at the institutions are chosen by students either by chance or by choice. Some students choose an institution by choice, some students join as a chance at the entry level. When we talk about the students' entry into the institution, they have a lot of expectations on the institution, that what kind of knowledge, skills, and other facilities they provide, so that he can make a career in the institution through a program. Therefore, these student expectations have to be met by the institutions. That is the primary role of the institutions. In this, they have to see that the expectations of the students are met by supporting the students in several ways. Let us examine the student support. If you look at the criteria points, universities carry 30 points, autonomous colleges carry 30 points, affiliated UG colleges carry 50 points, and PG affiliated colleges carry 50 points. First one, if you look at average percentage of students benefited by scholarships provided by the government for the last 5 years. As you all know, Dhyana Bhumi is the website through which government is extending scholarships to all colleges, including government aided and unaided colleges, for facilitating students to study higher education. So here the weightage for universities carry 10 points, autonomous colleges carry 6 points, and affiliated UG colleges carry 20 points. The data to be provided are year-wise number of students and year-wise data you have to provide. So total number of students who are benefited by the scholarships. The information required is year-wise list of number of beneficiaries, attested letter with the list of students sanctioned government scholarships. So these are the things which you have to provide to the NAC. Continuing with this, the formula to calculate the number of percentage. The percentage per year is equal to number of students benefited by scholarships provided by the government by the number of students in the college into 100. Percentage per year, average percentage comes to percentage per year divided by 5 into 100. So this is how you have to calculate for criteria number 5.1.1. Coming to 5.1.2, average percentage of students benefited by scholarships from the institution besides government schemes during the last 5 years. The weightage carries accordingly for universities 10, autonomous colleges 5, and affiliated colleges 5 points. Here, the scholarships, besides government scholarships, sometimes institutions will also give meritorious scholarships to the best performing students through various trusts or non-government agencies or any other bodies which support the education of the institution, education of the students in the institution. So the data template required is the year, name of the scheme, number of students benefited by the government scheme and amount, number of students benefited by the institution schemes and amount, number of students benefited by the non-government scheme and amount. This is an integrated template for 5.1.1 and 5.1.2. Continuing this, what are the documents required? uploading the link of the sanction letter with the year-wise institutional data, copy of the certificates provided by various agencies. These are the documents which you have to upload, and any other additional information. Continuing with the 5.1.2, scholarships for the institution and non-government agencies besides government schemes, the data requirement is year-wise data, number of students benefited, total number of students benefited by scholarships divided by number of students. This is how we have to calculate percentage per year. And the average percentage comes to total sum of the percentage per year by 5. This is how you have to calculate the criteria for non-government agencies supporting students for scholarships. Coming to 5.1.3, the number of capacity development and skill enhancement activities. The weightage carries for universities 5, autonomous colleges 8, and affiliated colleges 10 points. Here, there is a list of capacity development and skill enhancement activities like soft skills, life skills, yoga, health, hygiene, fitness, etc. Language and communication skills, awareness of trends in technology. This was the new one which is added in this year in the upgraded NAC RAF framework. Among the four, if you fulfill all the capacity development schemes, then you will get A grade. If you fulfill only 3 or any 3, you will get B grade. If you fulfill any 2, you will get C grade. If you fulfill any 1, you will get D grade. If you don't fulfill any of these above capacity development schemes, you will get E grade. The data template required is name of the capacity enhancement program, date and year of implementation, number of students enrolled, name of the agencies involved in contact details. That means these skills may be imported by the institution or from any outsourced agencies which conducts this capacity development and skill enhancement activities. And a copy of the circular of the activity conducted and the number of students registered in this activity, year-wise. You have to provide this data to the NAC. Coming to criteria 5.1.4, average percentage of students benefited by guidance for competitive exams and career counseling offered by the institution for the last 5 years. The weightage carries is for universities 5, autonomous colleges 6, affiliated colleges UG 10 points. The data template required is year, name of the activity conducted, guidance for competitive examinations or any other bank examinations or groups examinations or state government or central government examinations, career counseling, the name of the activity conducted through career counseling, details of counseling to the students, and the number of students placed through any campus due to passing of competitive examinations, either state government or central government. And you have to paste the link of the relevant document in the data template. The web link of the program and the copy of the circular of the activity and the number of students participated in the activity year-wise, you have to upload in the NAC website. Coming to the continuation of the career guidance and counseling, the formula is year-wise data you have to provide, the number of students counseled or guided for competitive examinations. The percentage per year comes to number of students benefited from the institution divided by total number of students, and the average percentage comes to total percentage by 5 into 100. This will comes to the average percentage. You have to submit year-wise list of students enrolled in specific programs with 3 or more than 3 months only. That means less than 3 months programs like any counseling or guidance will not be considered here. Only more than 3 months programs are considered with respect to guidance for competitive examinations or career counseling. Web link of the program and the copy of the circular of the activity conducted, the internal circular, are to be provided to the NAC. Coming to 5.1.5, The institution has a transparent mechanism for timely redressal of student grievances, including sexual harassment and ragging cases. Here, the universities doesn't carry any weightage, but for autonomous colleges, it is 5 points. Affiliated colleges, UG 5 points. Here, there are certain guidelines given by the regulatory bodies also regarding this mechanism for timely redressal of student grievances and harassment and ragging cases that you have to consider. Institution-wide awareness and undertakings on policies with zero tolerance. This talks about when we admit a student into the college, we take an undertaking from the student as well as parent on the above criteria that he will not indulge in such activities so that it will disturb the discipline in the college. Therefore, it requires a zero tolerance by the student. That document, the mechanism for submission of online or offline grievances. Every institution should facilitate for submission of online or offline grievances, either through suggestion boxes or complaint boxes in the institution at appropriate places, so that they can file a complaint physically through complaint box or suggestion box, or through online mechanism which is provided by the institution. And the fourth one is timely redressal of grievances through appropriate committees. Here, every institution should appoint certain committees, grievance redressal committee or anti-ragging committees, so that the complaints will be handled by the respective committees. Given the 4 points, if you fulfill all the elements in the criteria, you will get A grade. If you fulfill any 3, you will get B grade. If you fulfill any 2, you will get C grade. If you fulfill any one of the above criteria in the institution, you will get D grade. And if you don't fulfill any of these criteria, you will get E grade in this criteria. Therefore, it is the responsibility of the student institution to establish certain committees in the college to take care of the grievances. Now, what are the data requirements for file uploading? Uploading of grievance redressal policy document. Every institution should have a policy document on how do you address the grievances and redress the grievances of the students relating to any matters, academic or non-academic matters. The minutes of the meeting of sexual harassment committee, every committee should maintain a register and record the minutes of the meeting frequently when they meet with the committee members. Similarly, minutes of the meeting of the grievance redressal committee, minutes of the meeting of the anti-ragging committee should be maintained for verification by the NAC committee. And you have to submit those minutes of the meeting online. And you should also take care of the number of cases or issues received from the students and the redressed grievances on time. This also you should show. And you can provide the web link or circular of the committee justifying the objective. And you can provide any other information regarding this criteria on students' grievance redressal mechanisms. Coming to the next indicator 5.2, that is student progression. So far, we have dealt with student support mechanisms and how to make the student to progress in his career in the college. Now, we will focus upon student progression. In the student progression, the universities carry 40 points, autonomous colleges carry 30 points, affiliated colleges UG carries 30 points, and PG colleges carry 25 points. Having supported the student in various activities and encouraging them to participate in activities, now we'll focus upon average percentage of placements of outgoing students during the last 5 years. Every institution is having a weightage of 10 points here for universities, autonomous colleges, and affiliated colleges. The data template required is year-wise data, name of the student, placed with contact details, program graduated from, whether BA or BSc or BCom, name of the employer company with contact details, pay package at the appointment level. So this is the data template which we have to submit to the NAC. The records to be submitted are annual reports of the placement cell. Every institution should have a placement cell, and this placement cell is responsible for taking care of maintaining the annual records of the placement activities that they conduct in the institution and the institutional data in the prescribed format, and should also attest a self-attested list of students which are already placed in various companies. And appointment or offer letters given to the student should also be uploaded, and any other additional information. These are the records which a NAC asks for presenting in the NAC website. Continuing with this, the data requirement is year-wise placement data, number of students placed in the companies, and the formula to calculate is percentage per year comes to number of students placed divided by number of outgoing students. Those are only outgoing final year students into 100. The average percentage comes to percentage per year divided by 5. This is how we have to calculate in the criteria 5.2.1. If you look at the percentage of students progression to higher education in criteria 5.2.2, when an individual student completes his higher undergraduate education, he may seek to go for higher education for PG studies. So here the NAC is asking for student progression to higher education. This weightage for universities is 15, autonomous colleges is 10, and for affiliated colleges 10 points. The data template required is name of the student enrolling into higher education, program graduated from, either BA or BS or BCom, name of the institution joined in the PG courses of that institution, name of the program admitted, either MA or MCom or MSc. The data required is upload year-wise list of student progression data. So upload institutional data in a prescribed format. Here what our institution did is, we have literally called every outgoing institution after BCom or BA, BSc, what they are doing after their graduation. Taking the information from them, we have uploaded this data. The institution has also decided to go for contacting the students, more number of students of last 5 years, not only through phone call, but also by sending mails to them for seeking information about what they are doing after their graduation. In this, we have taken the help of Google Suite by creating domain mail IDs to all the students in the college, and we have sent the domain mail IDs to the students to seek information on their progression to higher education. This is what our institution did in collecting information about the students' progression to higher education. Education continues to UG to PG. If students going from undergraduate to post-graduation, that is one thing. If you are having PG students graduating from PG to MPhil, students graduating from PG to PhD, students graduating from MPhil to PhD, students graduating from PhD to postdoc. So this data you have to collect from the students. The formula to be applied is number of outgoing students progressing to higher education divided by total number of students into 100. This is how you have to apply the formula to collect the data. Coming to 5.2.3, average percentage of students qualifying in state, national, international examinations like NET, UGC NET, or state levels SET examination, or GATE, GMAT, CAT, GRE, TOEFL, JAM, civils, or state or central government examinations. The university weightage carries 15, autonomous colleges carry 10 points, affiliated colleges carry 10 points. So you have to submit a data, year-wise data of how many students have gone for applying for this examination, and you should not include university entrance examinations like ISET or OSET or any other sets. So year-wise list of pass certificates of the students, rank cards of the students, rank which they secured, you have to upload in the website. Continuing with the 5.2.3, year-wise data you have to submit in this format. Number of students appearing in the examination, year-wise. Number of students qualifying in the exams, year-wise. This data into percentage you have to calculate. Number of students qualifying divided by number of students appeared into 100. The average percentage comes to percentage per year divided by 5. This is how you have to compute the data for getting a grade point. Coming to the next key indicator, 5.3, students' participation in activities. Here, apart from curriculum or other activities, you have to focus on extracurricular and co-curricular activities of the student. This criteria talks about students' participation in extracurricular and co-curricular activities of the student in the institution. The universities carry 20 points weightage, autonomous colleges carry 30 points, affiliated colleges UG carries 50 points, and PG colleges carry 45 points. 5.3.1, number of medals or awards for outstanding performance in sports, cultural activities, and national international level. The weightage carries is 10 for universities, 10 for autonomous colleges, and for affiliated UG colleges 20 points. The data template to be required is year, name of the award or medal, the team or individual contribution, inter-university or state or international, name of the event, name of the student. This is the data template required to be filled. And the documents required to be uploaded are e-copies of the award letters or certificates at the national, international level, institutional data in the prescribed format, or any other information. So here, this criteria calls for conduct of sports and cultural activities to the students and encourage them to participate in national and international sports and cultural activities. Continuing with this, the data template required is year-wise data. The year-wise data you have to submit, and the name of the award or medal won by the student, and name of the event, number of awards or medals received year-wise by the institution, students in the institution. Next comes to 5.3.2, students' participation in activities, presence of active students' council, and representation of students in academic and administrative bodies or committees of the institution. This criteria carries a weightage of 5 points for universities, 10 points for autonomous colleges, and 10 points for affiliated colleges of UG program. Here, this is a qualitative metric. In this qualitative metric, you have to focus on describing the activities of the student council in various committees, describe the students' role in academic activities, like during the preparation of BOS or timetable, describe the students' role in administrative activities, that is, certain activities which are to be performed by the institution, wherein the role of the students is emphasized here, that is ISR. You have to write a maximum of 300 to 500 words in this criteria, which is a qualitative metric. You have to describe the activities, active student council role in 300 to 500 words. The note is that you have to paste the link in the additional information about this qualitative metric. Coming to 5.3.3, average number of sports and cultural activities or competitions organized by the institutional level per year. The weightage carries 5 for universities, 10 for autonomous colleges, and 20 for UG affiliated colleges. The formula to calculate year-wise data required is shown in the format, and the number of sports and cultural events organized by the institution divided by 5. that comes to the average number of students, sports and cultural activities. This is the data template that is required. Date of the event or competitions, name of the event or competition. Date wise you have to provide to the NAC. That means in addition to the national, international sports and cultural activities, institutions should continuously engage the students and encourage the students to participate in institutional sports activities and cultural activities. This will help them in participating into extracurricular activities like sports and games and cultural activities so that they can develop their knowledge and skills. Coming to the key indicator 5.4. 5.4 talks about alumni engagement. Alumni engagement carries for universities 10 points and autonomous colleges and affiliated colleges carries also 10 points. In this 5.4 alumni engagement, again we have qualitative metric. In this qualitative metric 5.4, the significant contribution of the alumni association for the development of the institution. What is the focus areas? The focus areas are, you have to describe the activities of the alumni association in the institution, describe the financial contribution, if any, to the institution, describe the financial, non-financial contribution to the institution, then describe the future plans of alumni for the development of the institution. So you have to describe this qualitative metric in 300 to 500 words for uploading in the NAC website. You have to paste the link of the additional information and upload additional information about this. So these are the two qualitative metrics which are present in criteria number 5. Coming to the 5.4 alumni engagement, alumni contribution in monetary terms. This slide shows only the contribution of autonomous colleges. This differs from university, autonomous colleges and affiliated colleges. If you look at the alumni engagement of the institution, for universities it is minimum 5 lakhs to 100 lakhs. For autonomous colleges, minimum 2 lakhs to 15 lakhs. But for affiliated colleges, it is minimum 1 lakh to 5 lakhs. That is how the alumni contribution differs. If it is autonomous colleges, 15 lakhs or more than equal to 15 lakhs, you will get A grade. 10 to 15 lakhs, you will get B grade. 5 lakhs to 10 lakhs, you will get C grade. 2 lakhs to 5 lakhs, it is D grade. And less than 2 lakhs, you will get E grade. This is how the NAC has given grades for the alumni contribution in monetary terms. The data requirements are name of the alumni association, which is registered in the institution, and quantum of contribution with receipts year-wise you have to submit, and annual audited statement of accounts by the chartered accountant about the alumni association you should also present in the website. So this is the outcome of criteria 5, key indicator wise outcome, wherein 5.1 student support, out of 30 points we got 105. 5.2 student progression, out of 30 weightage points we got 80. 5.3 student participation in activities, out of 30 points we got 90. 5.4 alumni engagement, we got 40 points out of 10. The overall score is 3.1.5. So this is the criteria 5, student support and progression. Thank you for patient listening of my presentation. అంటే కొంచెం జలుబు చేసింది సార్.
Sachin.
Yeah.
So we have got some questions. We have got certain questions in the chat box, which we will answer them one after the other. Paramesh Raghu has made a question like, what should come under trends in technology? This is the question. Sir, the latest development, that criteria focuses on how the capacity of the student is enhanced. So the student's acquaintance on various emerging trends in technology could be forwarded either as a course as such or a focused activity for a specific time duration involving an external agency, or it could be like a certificate course or a foundation course which is existing in our state. So these are the various ways in which the acquaintance of the student, the capacity can be enhanced. There is
Yeah. No, the next question by Tamireddy Naini. Give some examples of trend. Okay, that is over. Trends and example. The next question is by Paramesh Raghu. Value-added courses can come under this criteria or not?
if they relate to the concept given there, like soft skills and trend, you can mention it.
Okay. The next question is by Chadalavada Lakshminath. What would be the stipulated time frame for value-added courses?
It's very well given in the manual, sir. You could refer the glossary. Anything more than 30 hours, 30 to 60 hours will be considered for value added. It should be more than 30 hours.
Yeah. So next question is by Shankar Narayan Rao. NAC peer team visit verifies only QLMs or both QNMs and QLMs related activities? Yeah. This question will be answered by the chairman IQSC. And the next question is again by Tamireddy Naini. In an affiliated college, when parallel UG and PG courses are functioning, please let me know the procedure for uploading the data.
Sir, both the PG and UG data has to be uploaded comprehensively. Both must be included. And then the metrics and the templates have to be filled in. In administration, make the students a part of all committees which the organization has in its administrative functioning, to facilitate its administrative functioning, like BOS. You can include them in special committees like IQAC or any IT, any related like Mana TV, JKC, everywhere you see that the students are involved, even in short-term committees. short-term committees which are framed for the conduct of specific activities also. We can see that the students are involved in it, so that they put in their contribution into the conduct of the activities and making decisions for their benefit. I think it is clear for you.
Many questions will be answered. Good morning. Good morning. So I would like to answer certain questions and clarify, and also which includes our experiences at NAC assessment. There will be only 2 QLMs. Is it okay? We will continue.
నేను క్వశ్చన్ చదవనా మేడం, which are the value added courses for teacher education colleges? Baswaras Dharwad is asking, which are the value added courses for teacher education colleges?
NAC will give its classification and please refer it.
Okay, next. Talluri Stephen Praveen Kumar is asking, criterion 5th speaks about expectations of students under which students have to be provided counseling or coaching in NET by SLET to make students competitive. Is it not necessary for teachers to be competitive with NET by SLET? Please respond.
Sir, naturally, if only a competent teacher can guide the students, so it is an imperative.
It's not.
Yeah. So there are only 2 QLMs in criteria 5. It is completely with student support and progression. So student support services should be defined first. In your college, you should define what are the student support services. So then only talk about what exactly the progression. So the student support services may begin from generally from the scholarships onwards. From government side, we can every college is having student support. We give after admissions, if he is eligible for scholarships. So scholarships are free ships. The free ships must be provided by your institution. If any alumni or any endowment scholarships are available, maybe you can talk about free ships at that place. Maybe our coordinator has already explained all the metric wise. But one thing, every college should be very clear about what are your scholarships benefited by your students and what are the free ships benefited by your students. Free ships may be very less when compared with the scholarships, right? So most of the data, this criteria, total criteria is completely quantitative oriented. Almost 90% of all the metrics, 13 metrics, there will be only 2 QLMs. So where in that QLM, in the data metrics, when they're calling for the data, total, this is completely academic and what student is benefited from different parts of even teaching learning process. Even the students benefited in the vocational education training. So that is very important. But many colleges are having less. See, we have 5,900 5,903 response here. Total students attended for during the last 5 years, but only the response is only 40%. That means among the last 5 years, the total students will be counted, and the 40% of those students only responded. Responded means benefited. So though it is a 40%, that means we got 4 benchmark. So accordingly, you can estimate your benchmarks. I don't know, even maybe 30 also, maybe 4 benchmark, I don't know. Right, but 40 is a benchmark. 40, we got 40 response, we got 4 benchmark. So because these are the benchmarks fixed by the NAC, that is completely confidential. Certain benchmark, budget allocation and expenditure. Budget allocation, excluding salary infrastructure, that is also you must be very careful, right? And the grievance mechanism is also very critical. Unless you establish grievance mechanism. This is also student support service, even for anti-ragging cell, sexual harassment and ragging cases. What are the grievances you received from the students, whether you have kept grievances boxes in the campus, and what exactly the process you are following. That is also very important. They simply you put the boxes and the taking it. You should record everything. That coordinator must record. That committee should address what action taken. So all these things will be seen in the book, right? So we must be very careful. This metric, this entire, not only this metric, in the entire student support services, for each service, the one coordinator will be there. Even career counseling, one coordinator will be there. Soft skills development, one coordinator will be there. Remedial coaching, one coordinator. Bridge courses, one coordinator. Yoga, meditation, all this kind of. Everywhere, we must take care of the student support services. Right? Student support services. So actually, at our college, we have done a lot, but still we could achieve only 3.15. Right? We could not score more in this criteria. So take care of this, all the metrics. And at the same time, the student support service, one is placement and outgoing students. That means the current year, outgoing last 5 years. For the last 5 years, the outgoing students placement activity. That means even if you bluff there, you have to place, you have to upload even the appointment orders, including with the salaries projected. So unless they are very clear and clearly uploaded in your placement link in your website, they will catch hold of it. So be careful. The data validation and verification team, they are very particular here. You must see 1600, so 618 placements only for the last 5 years for us. So 10 is a weightage, but we got 2 benchmark. So we could not achieve more. In degree colleges, benchmark, placement activity is very less. But even the progression to higher education, previous graduating batch. So when we're going, NAC going, the previous graduating batch, see 257 students. The response is only 27%. So students going for higher education. So we got only 2 benchmarks. Suppose if we get 4 benchmark here, these 2, we could have scored 3.5 above. We could have scored A++. Even for NET/SLET GATE coaching. So here you should follow certain strategy. See, total response is 100. So we have given 55 students for the last 5 years by various departments, and 55% students graduated, qualified in the NET/SLET. So that's why we got 100 if we got 4 benchmark, right? So you also should identify the teachers, as there is one query in the chat box. That our teachers also should be empowered with giving such kind of coaching, and they should have knowledge over it. Yes, the teachers should be upgraded with their knowledge skills, and then they should give coaching for NET/SLET, GATE, or whatever it may be. Right? The English teachers may be given TOEFL. medals and anyway, these are all quantitative. But if you come to the qualitative metrics, student council representation. See, since 1988 onwards, the student elections are banned or banned by the government of various universities. After that, only student council, that is class representative form. So student council here is a class representatives. The active students are merit students from each class, one from boy, one from girl, will be kept as student councillors for class representatives. So for all the sections, whatever you have, that's completely is a council. The student council should be monitored as the class representatives from boys and girls, and a WhatsApp group should be created. So that WhatsApp group, through which the teachers, the heads of the departments will post all the information, and then in turn, every student counselor or class representative should have in turn another WhatsApp group of his class, his or her class, and then they will intimate. So this is a kind of effective communication system should be provided for interaction among the students and staff or heads of department regarding the functionaries of the different functionaries of the college, right? This student group must be maintained for the last 5 years. And student participation, and one question has come in student participation in administration, what? In administration, how a student is participating. So that's what is, see, in academic and administrative bodies, the students should be members. Certain students should be members. In the boards of studies, in autonomous college, in your board of studies, even in your staff, even in your department committees. Good students may be placed in your department committees, and every committee is established by the principal. There should be some student nominees, must be there. So students also will attend even for example, anti-ragging cell, even any committee, whatever student supports, or even NSS, NCC, whatever it may be, student apart from our teachers are constituted. Apart from our teachers, even students also must be placed in every committee. So that is the student participation in various academic and administrative bodies or the colleges are constituted. So these committees will help and then gain, so the students will gain certain experiences, even leadership skills. Also, and also why we nominate the student is the democracy as a spirit of democracy, and bringing leadership skills among the students. So this should be in every conducting of meetings. The students will gain some experience in every meeting. Right? Not all students, even certain, in some, suppose for example, special fee committee, you will take certain decisions. The students will observe. So this kind of representation of students in academic and administrative bodies will give a transparency in administration. So that is also. So there are a lot of impacts once you talk about this QLM. This shows your institution is maintaining certain transparency, right? Similarly, class representatives, they as students play a vital role in planning the college events, such as rallies, awareness programs, Freshers Day conducting Freshers Day events, Independence Day, Teachers Day, everywhere, every event you define. And they receive guests, even at conferences, seminars. The students' participation will receive guests. They anchor programs. See, the students should speak. Suppose you are conducting a national conference, national seminar, or a state level seminar. The students should speak. Now, that's why this COVID-19 is affecting drastically in a large manner the student community. In the education sector is only majorly affected, right? So everybody should agree, because now see, we are conducting webinars, we are unable to invite a student. Maybe from next webinars onwards, maybe I would like to invite some students. The subject webinars, we would like to invite some students also to give from July onwards. So like this, one should plan accordingly and the student involvement. So all students also assist administration, organize various programs. As I said, even blood donation camps, campus recruitment drives, even a fundraising. If you want to raise funds, see, we are having a certain best practices like a poor student aid fund. That will be conducted by only students only, right? The students committee is there. The student committee, one coordinator, two are lecturers, coordinators, they act because after collecting money, that fund they put it into the bank and everything. The students will approach they will only put the boxes and then they collect the money. So fundraising, see, we have collected more than 3 lakhs of rupees for Kerala disaster last year. So like that. So once you give a task to your students, they really they implement, they very effective. So that you should remember. So you should make the students involved in all activities. That is very important, right? So various committees anyway I said, and class representatives also they reflect the opinion, and you should take the boards of studies, and also they have to play a crucial role in designing the academic calendar, curriculum, along with the fixation of examination dates. The students should be given some, say, of course, if you're a non-autonomous college, any examination dates fixed by the university. So there won't be any transparency or there won't be any freedom, right? But if you're autonomous colleges, you should act differently. Why autonomy is given to you? If autonomous college means why autonomy? So whether you are using utilizing full autonomy or not, up to what extent you are utilizing your autonomy. So that is very important. So nobody is no UGC or University Grants Commission or university should not have this. So University Grants Commission is always telling take autonomy and implement in the interest of the student community, right? So up to what extent you are, if you are not using your autonomy, means you are not fit for autonomous system. So that's why the committee, the staff council of the institution should think what kind of autonomy we should take in the examination, conduct of examination, even postponement examination. Suppose there is a student representation has come, so you should act student friendly. Your autonomy should support in a student friendly manner, but it's not simply dictatorship. The autonomy given to implement dictatorship like what is this fellow German dictator? Well, not like that, right? So it should be student friendly. The students should appreciate, and students should be involved in an effective manner. Students should be given a freedom and to express their thoughts, they express their whatever their requirements, and students should be moved in a college, an autonomous college, in such a fashion. So that is the smartness, right? And also in the discipline, in the maintaining discipline of the institution, you also should take care of it and involve the students, right? Unless suppose the discipline committee will be there, no student is there, right? That is not a correct committee. So you must be very careful in the discipline and the clean. And suppose if you clean and green activities, the NS, not only NSS, involve all 5,000 students of your college in clean and green activities in a phased manner. Not all the time, only one group of students attending the clean and green activities. Like this, various measures should be taken for student council representation of students, academic administrative and different committees. So in every committee, the NAC checks certain, when during the PTM visit, they check the committees and their resolutions, their action taken reports, and their involvement. They all observe whether it's only bogusly, they're simply written or submitting the records, or they're effectively done. They have implemented. They check it very carefully. See, and also one should, under the supervision of the teachers and the principal, whatever it may be, the student acquires administrative skills, civic responsibility, leadership skills, problem solving skills, and the teamwork. Right? These are all, these criteria completely reflect on all these areas what I just talked about. Right? And once you implement these things, the student will achieve the class. The class representatives should be provided a leadership training programs also. So all these things put together this one. So the achievements we say, for example, our college because we made this all these efforts for the last 3 to 4 years, and then we achieved a good grade, and at least with 3.15 in this A grade in this criteria. In this criteria, we got only A grade, right? So we got Swachh Kalashala Award because we involved all the students into the clean and green activities and other activities. Swachh Kalashala means that not only a clean and green activity, but also toilets, maintenance, and everything, right? Vanam Manam government programs. And these are all we achieved certain, we achieved certain prizes to students, various committees, all these things. So remember, this QLM reflects the entire criteria. So alumni is also very important. Many colleges alumni is not so strong. Very few colleges alumni is strong. Wherever alumni are, so you should registered alumni must be there, and then involve them, and the principal should invite for meetings. So and then try to get funding from them, and then give them tasks. So give them tasks. Please do this. So then the alumni has to do it. Not only raising funds. So alumni. So similarly, alumni chapters also must be established. So that means actually Rajahmundry College, but one chapter can be started at Hyderabad. Suppose at Hyderabad, suppose many of our students are working there. Suppose if you identify, you can start one chapter there. So like that, alumni responsibility is also crucial in an education institution. So that's why I request all the teachers of coordinators, you should focus. This is our scoreboard for our grade. We got A grade. Student support, we are not 100%. So we missed somewhere. So we did not get 4 benchmark. If we would get 4 benchmark in all criteria, so all metrics, so we would have got 120 points, but we did not get 120 grade points. But student progression also like that only. Student progression also 30 weightage, but we are supposed to get 120, but we got only 80. So we still has to do it, because in the student progression, placement is down, progression into higher education is not up to benchmark, like that. So that we are now in the for next assessment, we are focused to this, because everything is good, but here we missed it. So if we would have got some 3.3, 3.4 like this, no, here we would have got A++. So student participation activities also like this only. So though we have done extraordinarily, we thought of it, but NAC thought of it, it's not extraordinary. Still it is something, some gaps are there. So see, all these 4 criteria, only alumni engagement we could succeed at, because only 10 points. So alumni engagement, because alumni has given, they have constructed one open air auditorium and one pylon, and one stage, 4 classrooms, like that they have constructed, and they have given some money, and then they themselves constructed. Don't take money from them, only let alumni has separate account, and then see alumni engagement. Alumni, if any donate money, they ask for the audited records. So if we are not having audited records, you should come up with some kind of strategies. Whatever they construct, you have to show the pictures, Google, Google Maps, geotaggings, that kind of things you should do. See, I don't know how many of you have seen our college website. You can see 360 degrees view in our college website. 360 degrees view of our college. You can enter into, this is my principal chamber. I'm sitting from my boardroom and this is giving, attending this webinar. So you can see, you can walk into this in the through web, through virtually, you can walk into my entire college. You can see all Digi Hub. Some of might have seen it, but if you don't see anybody of you, you please see it. So enter from right from the gate onwards, arts block, science block, and Buddha Bhavan, and all the scientific laboratories, everything. So you can enter into our computer laboratories. You can see what are the configurations. You can see into our science laboratory. You can see it. You can come into our physics antics laboratory. You can see all the what are the items are available. So you can enjoy. You can see the entire campus. You can see botanical garden, everything. So completely geotagged. That is a virtually 360 degrees. So like this, you can plan. So there are my few points at this. If anything, Amma, if anything is there, you can. I think anyone would like to speak? Huh? You want to still? Yeah.
So that is a query, sir. Like I have seen in the chat box. Is the peer team going to evaluate these criteria specifically in the while they are on stay with the higher education institution? So definitely, though we have found here lot many QNMs are there, but they are well cross-checked during the meeting with students, with alumni, and with parents. So this will be reflected in our scores, surely. That is what we have observed here. So as our sir said, anything we try to project which we have not done, somewhere or other it will be observed by the peer team, not only when they are in our campus, the day they are given the charge to come pay their visit, make their observation of the higher education institution, they have got their own means to collect information about our student service and how we render them. So due care must be taken here so that our higher education institution will be projected in the best manner. So this is what I would like to add here, and I open the floor for further questions.
Before just one point, as rightly said, Annapurna, our IKS coordinator said, see, we have the two streams here. One is data validation verification, data metrics, quantitative metrics. The other one is qualitative metrics. So qualitative metrics will be evaluated by the peer team. But the peer team, what I came to know, the peer team will be provided the quantitative scores, quantitative metrics. So if you look at the quantitative metrics, qualitative metrics, more in the qualitative metrics, most of the things we also mentioned, whatever we have mentioned the qualitative metrics, that reflects here, right? So we'll write in 500 words. So there is no the complete intersection is not empty. Intersection is not empty. Intersection of quantitative metrics and qualitative metrics. Intersection is not empty. So certainly the impact of the quantitative things what we have done, we have projected in the SSR, certainly will have impact over the qualitative metrics. So peer team, when the peer team visit, see in the peer team, say yesterday, Dr. Ram, day before yesterday, Dr. Ram said in the incubations, startups. The startups only we are having only in the data quantitative metrics. But we also write somewhere regarding the startups. So peer team will certainly will see all startups. They have seen all startups. We have 8 startups and incubation, and they all 8 startups they have visited. Even that Go Green startup is also they have visited. The peer team chairperson, very interestingly, then he wants to see even that vermicompost, even that college canteen as a startup we have seen as an incubation center. right? So like this, even our e-bicycle, the peer team chairperson, he cycled, right? So remember, they are not completely empty, non-empty. That there is no. Don't think that is their quantitative metrics and qualitative metrics are completely. But when the peer team visit, they see everything. What I came to know that certain peer team members, my friends are there, from our Telugu states. So when they go outside state, that they will be provided with the quantitative scores also. Okay. So like this, they will be provided with at least some material regarding quantitative, but not scores. Scores are confidential, but maybe what exactly we got it, right? So that is why one must be careful.
So somebody is asking, can you elaborate how geotagging done? Roma Roy is asking. Yes.
Yeah, we done geotagging with the help of Google 360 View Tour. First of all, we contact the persons. They come up with a good high quality cameras and they shoot entire infrastructure of the campus. Provide two tours. One is personalized tour and one is Google Maps tour. We done the both. When you search our government college autonomous in Google, it will provide the Google Map tour. Also, when you visit our website, it will provide the entire personalized 360 degrees tour. Also, we done each and every photo we uploaded in the SSR is geotagged with the own software. We developed that software and we geotagged that pictures with the help of that software.
Sir, the need of the hour, as per the present global standards, it is interdisciplinary growth, which is development, which is required. Rather than specialization, today interdisciplinary aspects are given more in significance, either for their survival or employability or whatsoever may be the case. So this is what we have to focus upon.
Yeah. Somebody asking the question. We have been handling free coaching for various competitive exams throughout the year. Can we?
Yes, definitely. But you must be in a position to produce the concerned documentation and how you executed the modalities for the execution of such a program. It must be well organized and well defined program. Just if we say that we have organized a whole year without any records, it will not hold good naturally.
And give some examples of non-financial contribution of Alame, asked by Sushma Narsagoda.
Sir, shall I answer? So non-financial contribution by alumni, usually alumni may not come forward with, it is not necessary that they contribute only in terms of monetary terms. It could be in terms of kind also. Suppose our alumni is engaged with some, say, a business with regard to construction, he may come forward to contribute with some material relating to the construction, or books, or in kind, I should say. So whatever it is, you just convert it in terms of money and you can upload it. Question?
Yeah. And one question from Government Degree College, Mahmoodabad. For the colleges that are having courses, it is necessary to provide the details of student progression regarding NET, SLET, PhD, etc. Because after completion of undergraduation, the students are out of the college.
Yes, it is a typical one. But still it is a metric for assessment. And so some means have to be made to see that this data is collected.
And Vanapalli Vijayalakshmi garu asking, throw light on other scholarships, I mean other than minority and caste based and economically backward.
Merit based scholarships or endowment prizes which you establish in your colleges could add to this, that is from the institutional point of view. And also there are philanthropists who come forward to provide scholarships in kind, say in uniforms or whatever books, maybe whatsoever the case may be. Non-government organizations also come forward to provide merit-based scholarships. These could be included here.
Okay. Madam, the next question is by Sridhar Devineni. This is with respect to 5.2.1. If the employer provided the selected list of students by mailing the selected list in an Excel sheet attached to the mail instead of putting the copy of offer letters, can we submit the attached Excel sheet or Word document along with the emails as supporting data for 5.2.1? Because some of the employees are directly mailing the offer letters to the students instead of putting a copy to the placement cell. Please clarify.
That offer letter which is being supplied to the student holder.
Next question.
So it is the placement
E-bicycle.
to collect the information from them wherever possible and see that what is the salary given to them also. The terms are important. So make some mechanism to collect them.
Yeah, Kavita Alluri asked the question, how e-bicycle comes as a startup thing actually. Yeah, we incubated one idea from student. So a student come with an idea of that. He wanted to make a cycle. That means he wanted to transform that cycle into a electric cycle. So that means he wanted to put a battery to attach a battery to the cycle, by that the cycle will run. But we don't take that idea as it is. So we suggested that whenever he wanted to construct a cycle with a battery, with the help of the battery, the cycle can move. But we asked him to go for, so whenever the mechanical energy, when the cycle is pedaling, that means the cycle is moving with the pedaling, so that means the mechanical energy is generated. So when you go way back, if you go back, then dynamo is there, one function. So whenever this dynamo is attached to the tire, then automatically it produces mechanical energy into the electrical energy. The same concept when the cycle is moving, so that means why can't we take that mechanical energy to charge our battery? So that means a rechargeable, self-rechargeable bicycle. So that means whenever it started moving, so that means with the battery, we prepared electromagnets. So that means this mechanical energy goes through the electromagnets. By that, this bicycle produces nearly 12 to 15 volts of volts. These volts can be used for charge of that battery. So that means self-rechargeable bicycle we incubated under the CIIE, Center for Innovation, Incubation, and Entrepreneurship. This is our startup thing. And with the help of our college funding, we are able to make that cycle with 30,000 rupees. So that means all the documents available in the our website. You kindly go through it and you can get the total idea. Thank you.
ఇంకా ఉన్నాయి ఒక క్వశ్చన్ ఉన్నాయి సార్. And Umadevi asking the question, in our college we have one student qualifying for 2 or 3 companies, then which should be considered? Can we use all?
It's a dependent factor. How best you can produce it. Actually, there is no restriction on the name of, they are not asking for the name of the candidate who has been selected as such. So maybe if possible, if the rules then apply, you can produce it.
So all the participants, if any participants wants to interact with the team, please welcome. Any participants can interact with the team.
Good afternoon, sir.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon, sir.
So I would like to speak for a few minutes. Hello, sir. Is that audible?
Yes, sir. You can go ahead.
Sir. So taking this criterion 5 into consideration, I would like to share a few experiences. It is not a question. It can be taken as a matter of sharing my experience with you. And on the part of the teacher and the student, this criterion demands improvement. Not only improvement, sir, competency, continuous evaluation, continuous updation, because we have to face the challenge of life. So at times we used to think that a teacher job is a very convenient job. We are self-complacent, self-satisfied that whatever we know is okay. Once you get the job, you can go to the stage of retirement without improvement. But now it is not the case, I think. So this job is a very serious job, very tough job, and it demands a lot of commitment. At the same time, I would like to share some of my experiences with you, which are somewhat unfortunate to state, because we have 2 ways before us, the easy way and the tough way, or the broad way and the narrow way. So the narrow way is nothing but going for NAAC accreditation with all these commitments, with all these undertakings. And we generally prefer, why to take all these things? Better we encourage students to go to the different way. So this is still happening in some of the institutions, and still we do these kind of things. So now it is high time that we encourage students in a very positive manner to make them competitive by being ourselves competitive. And we need to have a continuous evaluation till the time we retire. And even after retirement also, we are supposed to update. It depends on our personal way of thinking and attitude, sir. But from the discussions which we had all these days, the only thing which I came to know is that continuous evaluation and continuous updation is the only key to success and to face the challenge of higher education, sir. And even during this COVID time, we have come through a number of challenges, sir. Now we are gearing up towards that situation. Now it is high time that we make our students competitive. And one more thing, sir, David Kumar sir has been telling from day one. He used to say that he invites students at any moment of time. Sometimes he may not permit the teachers to enter this chamber, but he invites the students. That is a very positive sign, sir, which every teacher and every principal should learn from it. Because last time, that is before the COVID in February, we conducted a national seminar in the soft skills, sir. There, besides teachers, we also invited students for participation. And 5 students came forward, sir. At the same time, I have to mention that I apologize for making this statement. Some of the teachers were unable to participate, were unable to present, but 5 students were able to present, and all the participants supported their contribution. So now it is time that we have to encourage each and every student in all the committees of college also. Sometimes it may be difficult in the financial matters, but in other things, we are supposed to make them participants for the committee and train them, guide them, and make them good leaders in the future days to come. So thank you for giving me this chance, sir.
Sir, can I speak, sir? Hello?
Yes, madam.
Yes, madam, please go ahead.
Sir, this is Dr. Sushma Narskoda from Belgaum, Karnataka, sir. Sir, first of all, I would like to congratulate the college for the A plus grade and also appreciate your endeavor in conducting this 7-day FDA program, sir. It's really valuable and it was really enlightening, and a lot of doubts were cleared here, sir. I would like to mention here that I belong to a teacher education institution, that's a B.Ed college, and the SAR that you are, which is being presented, sir. That's the degree college SSR that you are presenting is slightly different from the SSR that we have for our teacher education colleges. But in spite of that, sir, we got a lot of insights into various things, and we were enlightened on various points here, sir. And my one question is, like, can the ex-students who have joined the same college as a faculty of the same institution, can they be the office bearers of the alumni of the college? Like, suppose a student who has passed from the same college and he has joined back the institution as a faculty of the college. So can he be included in the office bearing committee of the alumni, sir? Thank you, sir.
Sushma Garu, ma'am, it is definitely possible, and he or she may be included in the office bearer of the alumni. That is the strength for the college, and one among them could be made as the president. What procedure, what mechanism we have followed is the same. We have got almost 30 to 40 alumni with us working as faculty, and we mobilized them to pull up the alumni all over the spread all over the nation and abroad also, and could make miracles through them. We have elected a president, a chairman, a treasurer, and conducted various meetings for them, and the interaction session also. The thing is, the alumni must be well acquainted with what's happening in the campus, and the same way they must be enlightened with all the strategies which we are following, update them, because they have left the college institution way back. And so to build a cordial relationship with them is more essential to have a positive feedback from them on our college. It holds good enough in deciding our image before the peer team which comes to observe our college during their visit. So this is one of the suggestions, madam. I think I have answered your question. So, but for questions, I think we will close today's session. I thank one and all, and let us join tomorrow at 10:30.